Have you ever watched someone walk into a room and immediately command attention without even trying? They speak with clarity. They make decisions quickly. People listen when they talk. And somehow, no matter the situation, they seem to rise into leadership roles almost by default. You might wonder, what makes them different? Is it confidence? Is it charisma? Were they trained to be leaders or born to be? Here's a more surprising question. What if your fingerprints could give you a clue? It may sound odd at first, but more and more researchers and life coaches are paying attention to the patterns we carry on our fingertips. Known as dermatoglyphics, the scientific study of fingerprint patterns has been used in areas like neuroscience, behavioral profiling, and even career counseling. And the most intriguing part? Certain patterns, especially the Whorl and Radial Loops, seem to be more common among people with leadership tendencies. But how and why? Let's dive into the curious connection between fingerprints and leadership potential. Let's start with the most talked about pattern, the Whorl. What does it look like? If you examine your fingertips and see a pattern that looks like a circle, spiral, or bullseye, you likely have a Whorl pattern. It's more geometrically complex than the common loop and more balanced than the rare arch. Now, here's where things get interesting. Across multiple fingerprint studies and personality mappings, Whorl patterns are frequently associated with strong-willed, independent, and driven individuals. They're often described as big picture thinkers who want to create, control, or lead, not simply follow. Let's break it down. They make decisions with confidence. People with Whorl fingerprints usually trust their own judgment. They're less likely to second-guess or wait for someone else to tell them what to do. They value results. These individuals often care about measurable progress. They want to see their efforts lead to something tangible, whether it's a successful business, a project completed, or a goal achieved. They thrive under pressure. Because they tend to stay focused and internally motivated, Whorl types often perform well when responsibilities increase. Stress doesn't shake them, it fuels them. But not all Whorls are alike. Let's take a look at some common subtypes and how they influence leadership style. Whorl Spiral, WS, the visionary leader. The Whorl Spiral type is often described as futuristic and strategic. These individuals love to plan, think big, and shape ideas from the top down. They're not just workers, they're architects of systems. You'll often find WS types in executive roles, startup environments, and anywhere a big idea needs to be executed through structure. They may come off as intense or even intimidating at times, but it's because they see the entire chessboard when others only see one move ahead. Whorl Loop, WL, the people-centered leader. This subtype blends the strong decision-making of the Whorl with the emotional awareness of the loop. WL types are assertive, yes, but also empathetic and tuned in to how others feel. They make great team managers, HR leaders, and educators. Think of them as the bridge between performance and people. They don't just drive results, they bring everyone along for the ride. Whorl Peacock, WP. The charismatic leader. Loud, expressive, and often larger than life, Whorl Peacock types love being in the spotlight. They're great public speakers, influencers, or entrepreneurs in fast-paced industries. These leaders may lead through charm and passion rather than structure or calmness. But they're effective all the same. They energize teams. They attract followers. They start movements. The Whorl might scream leader, but the Radial Loops often whispers it. Until one day, everyone's following them. So, what is a Radial Loops? Unlike a standard loop, which flows in a predictable direction, a Radial Loops flows in the opposite path. It's uncommon, And that uniqueness tells you a lot. Radial Loop's individuals are often highly creative. They see possibilities where others see limits. Nonconformist. They're not afraid to challenge outdated methods or reinvent the rules. Emotionally tough. They might be sensitive underneath, but on the outside, they project strength and individuality. Rather than charging to the front like a general, RL types often lead like artists or innovators. Think Steve Jobs. Think Greta Thunberg. Think Elon Musk. Whether or not you agree with them, you can't deny one thing. They disrupt the norm and inspire people to think differently. RL leaders tend to shine in creative industries, activism, tech startups, or any environment where bold ideas are needed. They lead by being themselves, unapologetically. At this point, you might be wondering, is this real science or just clever psychology? Let's clarify. Fingerprints are formed during fetal development, by around the 19th week of pregnancy. At the same time, our brain's neocortex is also forming. These developments are influenced by the same genetic and environmental factors in the womb. In other words, your fingerprints are a reflection of your brain's early wiring. Dermatoglyphics, the formal study of fingerprints, has been used in neurology, forensic science, and even behavioral research. While it's not a crystal ball, it's a tool, a way to observe tendencies, patterns, and natural inclinations. It does not predict your destiny, but it can give you clues about how you process information, how you handle stress, how you approach problems, how you relate to others, and yes, even how you lead. Now, let's address something important. Not everyone has whorls or radial loops. If your fingertips show mostly ulnar loops or arches, does that mean you're not a born leader? Absolutely not. Here's what those patterns might suggest. Ulnar loop. These individuals are often cooperative, social, and value harmony. They may lead best in nurturing environments like teaching, counseling, or team-based settings. Arch pattern. Arch types are often calm, disciplined, and grounded. They may lead by example, quietly consistent, morally strong, and deeply respected. The bottom line? Leadership is not one size fits all. Your fingerprint does not put you in a box. It helps you understand your style of influence. Let's apply some examples based on published biometric research and anecdotal observations. Many corporate executives and founders have Whorl spiral or Whorl peacock types, reflecting vision and drive. Highly creative directors, authors, or strategists often show radial loops patterns, suggesting innovation and independence. Empathetic leaders in education or healthcare often show Whorl loop or ulnar loop, indicating people-centered thinking. In a fingerprint database study in Singapore that analyzed successful professionals in business, over 65% of executive leaders showed Whorl or RL dominance, more than double the population average. While not a strict rule, that's a compelling correlation. So, are you boss material? Let's reflect on what we've explored. Leadership is not just about titles or followers, it's about the way you think, respond, and take initiative. Some of us charge forward, others lead from behind. Some lead through power, others lead through purpose. What your fingerprints offer is not a prediction, but a map. A way to understand the leadership traits that might already be part of you. Whether you have a whorl, a radial loops, or something else entirely, the most important question remains: how can you lead in a way that's true to you? Curious what your fingerprints say about your leadership potential? We decode the secrets hiding in your hands, literally. Head over to Fingerprint Secrets on YouTube, where we explore how fingerprint science connects to your strengths, communication style, career path, and more. Whether you're a born whorl, a creative RL, or an unsung hero with loop patterns. We help you understand your authentic leadership style. Subscribe today and let your fingertips guide your future.